Leighton Gay, bro, are you new here? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm the ranting monkey. He is Jack. Say hello, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how the hell are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm okay. How are you?
I am well rested. I finished my game stream last night and I just need to take a nap. And I went and laid down and woke up at 9 this morning.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Not very often for me. I plan things based on my shitty sleeping schedule, and when it doesn't, live up to my expectations, it throws everything off.
See, I knew you fell asleep because you posted one thing on Twitter and then nothing for like 6 hours.
Yeah. I was expecting, okay, we'll just do a really late night show. We'll do a 3 a.m. kind of show. And then, I looked at the clock when I woke up. I'm like, well, that explains the light outside.
Well, I have a theory. See, your body is an agent of some kind. Like you're a vessel for this cosmic energy that causes people to die. Your dream killings.
Oh,
well, in this case, you had to go to sleep so that Don Lemon could be arrested.
I did make it possible.
See?
You want to get your previous things real fast?
Real quick. Thank you, Okie Native. These came in after the show ended, unfortunately, so I'm just gonna hit them now. Thank you, Okie Native. So speaking of America's immigration policies, I'm not allowed in Mexico because they deport you if you're here. Oh wait, I did read these, didn't I?
You did read those, yeah.
Second time I was deported back to the U.S., they told me no. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got these. I thought I missed them for some reason. I apologize. I screwed up. But thank you, Okie, for those donos. You're awesome.
Monk slept. Everyone check on your family members. True. Yeah, I did. I slept really good. I did wake up twice. Once because I had to pee, and then I was like, I can hold it. And then the second time because it's like, you can't hold it. You need to go now. And so I did, and then I went back to sleep. No, I enjoyed it. I've needed it. I've been not sleeping well, so I'm very, awake and ready to go. When I turn on my Twitter, actually, I didn't even see it on Twitter this time. I saw it on breaking news on YouTube. I was watching Disparu's video, and then I watched a video called 30 Minutes of a Conservative Standing Up for Starfleet or Starfleet Academy or something like that. So Worst takes ever. So this guy, we're not going to do the Starfleet Academy thing. I just have to point this out. They're watching this other person's take on it. It's a black girl. I forget her name. I've seen her before. But she points out the racially ambiguous child in episode 1 at the very beginning. And this guy's like, I don't see why that's a problem. I mean, they literally had blue people. One, Star Trek did not have blue people. They had blue aliens. See, nobody was like, hey, why is that person blue? But two, the whole issue with the racially ambiguous child is because that is a modern day trope. You can't have a white kid or even a black kid. Can't have him. He's got to be mixed race now. And it's that's why this gets brought up. It's not because you can't have people of different colors in Star Trek. It's because clearly white as fuck mom has little we don't know baby. And it was specifically done to invoke Mexican immigration. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And they didn't even have the balls to get an actual Latino. They're like, get somebody who's half and half. That could be Mexican.
Well, the one chick with the weird eyebrows is Latina. So
racially ambiguous sounds like a song. It does. It actually does.
For the record, since this goes out into the ether, I think aliens are people.
They're not people. Humans are people.
I am not a human supremacist, especially by the way, hot alien.
That guy's takes don't get any better than that.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, it's a really bad take where he's defending. Look, you like the show, that's fine, but at least admit that it's crap. His big argument is she clearly has never watched Star Trek. Well, tons of us have, and the arguments still hold up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you've never seen Star Trek. pointing at this and going, that's bad, is still legit. Anyway, I'm watching that video and it finishes. Go back to my main page on YouTube, and I see this wonderful breaking news from MS Now. MS Now, formerly MSNBC, but they so shit the bed in the PR department that they're like, we got to rename this. No one takes this seriously. How bad do you have to fuck up your news organization that you have to rename it?
I mean, CNN didn't even rebrand.
They're just like, it is so bad. We have got to break away from this.
Oh, real quick. Thank you, Clamhammer. Great name. Do you think Don Lemon is sour about being arrested? I'll see myself out. I think he lost some lemon juice a little bit.
Look, for Don Lemon, this is a win-win. Either he gets acquitted or he gets to go get ass pounded in jail.
Either way, it's going to boost his street cred.
There's no downside for him here. Anyway, this is the breaking news, y'all.
We have breaking news for you.
You love the title, Don Lemon arrested by authorities, rather than like Don Lemon arrested by the fat chick down the street.
The HOA Karen.
All arrests come from authorities?
Yeah, it's usually authorities that arrest people as opposed to like
otherwise it's a kidnapping.
Kids. Yeah, that's not an arrest, that's an abduction.
But MSNBC, MS Now, needs to make sure that their audience knows it was the authorities who arrested him. Fuck. And here's Mika, who, remember, is the one who's supposed to tell you what to think. Her words, not mine.
True.
Former CNN anchor Don Lemon was arrested late last night on federal charges tied to a protest earlier this month at a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Lemon.
I'm going to be honest, just the title of this already had me laughing. That was funny as shit to me. Don getting arrested, good. He deserves it. He broke the law, period. And his dumbass filmed the whole fucking thing and put it on the internet.
He even told everybody that he planned, like helped with the planning of this. Like he was conspiring with the organizer of the event.
Thank you, Matt. Well. I'm a journalist. So we're a bunch of people in the Capitol on January 6th. Have to, Mr. Jack. Thank you so much. So we're a bunch of the people. Yeah. I mean, there were people who were just, if you want to be honest, Baked Alaska was as much of a journalist on January 6th as Don Lemon was here.
Yeah, I'd actually argue that since Don Lemon was more involved in the planning and execution, that Baked Alaska is probably less guilty than Don Lemon.
Oh, yeah. When it comes to the guilt, he's less guilty because you have him the night before when Epps yells, "We're going to the Capitol." He's like, no, Fed.
Yeah.
You're a Fed. So
Baked Alaska would know.
Spartan John, thank you for that feminist $12. Monk, thank you for going to sleep. Don Lemon getting arrested made my day. Okay,
Right.
here's the reality about Don Lemon getting arrested. We are going to be inundated for the next fucking month about they're going after journalists. Did you see him go after a journalist? He's just a journalist. And that is going to be coming from the left, from the media, from the politicians. Can you believe they went after this guy? Yes, I can. He filmed himself breaking the law.
Oh my God, Monkey, this is a merch opportunity. We got to make t-shirts that say "Free the Lemon."
Free Don Lemon shirts. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, big lemon on it with a little like face that vaguely looks like him. Say "Free the Lemon" or no
just
lemon, no peace. You know,
just pure black shirt with white writing or white shirt with black writing. Just says "Free Don Lemon."
Yeah, free Don instead of free dumb. There you
go.
go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'm full of ideas. Thank you, John Spartan, for that feminist donation. To quote the fat guy from The Office, "You don't know about jail? You would love jail."
Yes.
That's a great quote. Thank you, Shio. So wait, Don Lemon is going to be hosting lemon parties in prison?
Yup.
Yeah, he's about to get his
Um,
lemon squeeze.
Moonshock says his attorney is calling his arrest an unprecedented attack on the First Amendment. What a fucking joke. Yeah, I've seen that.
Ugh, tired of that
Krasenstein,
already.
Brian Krasenstein's out there. The First Amendment, the First Amendment. And I asked him simply, show me any time you have ever stood up for the First Amendment when the FACE Act, which is what this is likely going to be prosecuted under, when the FACE Act has been an issue. And I want you guys to do that. If you see any of these assholes out there, First Amendment, ask them why they've never stood up for the First Amendment in a FACE case before. We've had many FACE cases. And while I'm against the FACE Act of how it's written, because part of it is absolutely a violation of the First Amendment, which is funny because in it, they bring up the First Amendment. In the FACE Act, they actually bring up First Amendment right. Kind of funny. But they get around it by talking about intimidation and other shit, which we'll get to. We're going to bring up the FACE Act and actually look at it and see what it says.
Ooh, we're going to learn something today.
We're going to learn today, y'all. Alpha Chad, what does it say? Oh, Alpha Chad Fenor. Oh, you changed your name, or that's your full one. Complimentary lemon with your bananas and rice. Bananas and rice. That fucking video is so stupid. So stupid.
Oh, that dono was from Spartan John. Sorry. Thank you, Spartan John, for that feminist donation. Appreciate that. Hi, Liberty
yeah.
Bet.
The nonsense around this is going to be overwhelming, and I guarantee you most of the people you hear talking about this will not talk about what he actually did. Now, one of the things that their things is pointing out that he was embedded, he was just riding along with them. I saw somebody else, I wish I would have been the one to think of this, but it was a tweet that I read, like, okay, what if he had rode along on a bank robbery? Would that just be journalism? No, because you can't go along with the crime and be like, nah, man, I'm just filming. And it's what got a lot of people on January 6th in trouble. Even though it wasn't directly related, because these are just people who happen to be in the same spot. Cryptic, thank you. Don Smollett is what I think he'll get in terms of a legal fine or conviction, if it even gets that far. Slap on the hand so he can go cry into his boyfriend's butthole. It's his husband. It's his husband. Thank you.
Oh, no, he'll go to his lover.
He don't got no lovers. Even his husband doesn't like him.
Because Don doesn't like white people.
Yeah, Don hates white people. Is married to a white guy. It's amazing, honestly. So anyway, yeah, the nonsense around this is going to be overwhelming, and their excuses are going to be twofold. One, he's a journalist. He's a journalist. Journalists go to jail when they break the law. Sorry, don't know what to tell you. And their other argument is free speech, which they give less than a fuck about. Okay. Yeah. These are the kind of people, in Mia's case, I'm pretty sure directly, who were like, you can't spread misinformation about COVID. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
They were all for censoring motherfuckers then, including people in the media. But those are going to be their two arguments, and neither of them hold up because the dumbass recorded himself breaking the law and put it on the internet.
Yeah, what they're going to do, though, is selectively edit the footage and only part of it. They're not going to show that opening part where he was talking about how he knew in advance what was going to happen.
Oh, but we will.
And he's best friends with the lady organizing it.
Okay.
Hang on. Thank you, Okie Native. One shirt that says "Free the Lemon." Second shirt that says "When life gives you lemons, squeeze him till he squeals," with iron bars and a pitcher of lemonade.
All right, let's get into MS Now and how they've decided to frame this, shall we?
Says he was.
By the way, this is from the Morning Joe. It says it right there on the bottom of the screen. This is Joe Scarborough. Totally did not kill the intern that was found dead in his office.
Totally did.
Nope. Before he married this wench.
Reporting as a journalist when demonstrators interrupted tied to a protest earlier this month at a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Lemon says he was reporting as a journalist when
Reporting as a journalist. Again, you can't do that when you're in on the crime that's happening.
I was reporting as a journalist when I shot those 5 people, officer.
There've been times where I'm like, how come police can't find this criminal when they're on TV with these reporters? Because reporters will find somebody who's a criminal and be like, this is Joe Bob, the meth dealing rapist, and we found him to talk to him about his crimes. You know what they don't show him doing? Selling meth and raping, because then you're part of the crime.
Yeah, you would think somebody with a track record like Don Lemons would know that. Oh, wait, no, who am I talking about?
Worst journalist of the year, Don Lemon. Worst journalist of the year.
Yeah.
Don Lemon. I'm going to be just upfront here. I don't like Don Lemon. I think I've been pretty clear on that over the years.
Oh, yeah, I think we both have.
But if I thought Don Lemon was in the right here, I would say so. This has nothing to do with my dislike of Don Lemon. My giddiness does.
yeah.
But my opinion on it has nothing to do with that.
No, it's because he involved himself in a crime. How many times have we talked about a situation where it's somebody we don't like and we end up having to stick up for him? I don't like doing that, but, that's the truth of it.
I want to bring up a name that you guys probably, if you knew it, have forgotten by now. Lauren Handy. She was in the news a few months back because she got arrested for a violation of the FACE Act. And she got sentenced to 41 months in prison. And on conservative social media, they were all yelling about how, oh my God, she's a political prisoner. She was just exercising her First Amendment rights. We talked about this very briefly. And I pointed out that those people were lying to you. Because not only did she absolutely violated the FACE Act, Jack. Her and her friends pushed themselves into an abortion clinic to block access. You could not get more guilty. And even then, I said, look, I don't like the FACE Act. She still, what she did was beyond the pale. But the people who were screaming, First Amendment. No, it wasn't a First Amendment argument. She pushed herself in there. And even though I am on the anti-abortion side, I have to be honest and go, yeah, the bitch probably belongs in jail for what she did. You have to be able to separate your personal feelings about an issue or a topic, or in this case, a person, and the reality that's going on around them and what we're talking about. In this case, this dumb motherfucker filmed himself doing this. This is no different than those kids who knock over a 7-Eleven and then take selfies and put it up on Facebook of them holding the gun and the money.
True, but it's just as hilarious.
It's just as hilarious. Yeah, it is.
Real quick. Thank you, Cryptic. The left has been going after Don for a while and telling the world he needed to be locked up. It just happened to be Don Lemon instead of Donald Trump.
True.
Yeah, they weren't specifying some of those times, so.
Demonstrators interrupt.
I think Don Lemon is probably the worst journalist of all. Oh, no. Have you seen Taylor Lorenz?
Oh, Jim Acosta.
Oh, God, yeah. There's tons worse. Joy Reid.
Oh, Joy
tons
Reid.
Of them.
Journalist is really stretching the term there.
It is, but I mean, technically, that is what she was.
Ugh.
Lemon is bad. Don't get me wrong. He is among the worst. But yeah, I would definitely put Taylor way past him.
Yeah.
Interrupted a service to protest immigration enforcement. A magistrate judge previously rejected the case against him, but prosecutors later sought and obtained his arrest.
Now, this is what I told you guys about the other day when the judge said, no, you can't do it to him. That all that meant is they'd have to take it to a grand jury. And this is such an open and shut case. I mean, you don't even have to go jury shopping for this one.
Right?
It's like, oh, this is the evidence? We could probably skip the trial. Cryptic, thank you again. Taylor, 80-year-old. Taylor is worse. True. This is a bitch who said that the only reason that Ethan Klein was suing those girls is because they're girls. Hey, he just doesn't like women. Yeah, you've
Taylor's
clearly never
not smart.
seen the way he fawns over that wife of his. And Alpha, thank you again. Olbermann is on that list too. Yes, Olbermann might actually be the worst of all.
Yeah.
I mean, his takes are so fucking batshit insane.
Yeah. He's
right.
like the Jesse Ventura of journalism.
Yeah. No, that's insulting to Jesse.
That's fair.
He's like the guy standing on the street screaming at the pigeon version of journalism.
Lemon was taken into custody in Los Angeles and is scheduled to appear in federal court this morning.
Yeah, federal court because it's a federal violation. I love how
I like
she
how
put
she's
that stank she put on federal.
Yeah, I was just about to say that because like federal court as opposed to like state court, dumbass. Yeah, it's a federal crime.
It is a violation of 18 U.S. whatever. It is a federal crime that he committed, so it goes to federal court.
She wanted to somehow work Trump's name into that.
Trump's federal court.
Yeah.
Oh.
His lawyer, Abby Lowell, calls the prosecution an unprecedented attack on the First Amendment. We have Lisa Rubin.
What? His lawyer is sticking up for him?
Yeah, crazy.
His lawyer calls it an unprecedented attack.
I hope my lawyer said that.
Right?
They're like, what am I paying you for? Make this sound scary.
Like his lawyer's just gonna come out and go, yeah, he fucking did it. I can't even help him in this one.
It's sort of a mediocre attack on his civil rights, like maybe the First Amendment's involved. I don't know. He doesn't pay me enough to care.
Sorry, I was lighting a cigarette and it just wouldn't light.
That'll happen.
My favorite part about this is that Don Lemon for the next couple of days is going to be a media darling.
Yeah.
And he's going to get to go on all the shows and they're going to talk to him and he's going to be the oppressed. And then people are going to remember in the industry how much they hate him because he's not well liked in the industry.
No, because he's a douchebag.
He's a douchebag liar who throws people under the bus. I mean, he lost his daytime gig because he was a misogynistic shitbag.
Yeah, kind of a diva from the sound of it.
Mm-hmm. That's their wording, not mine, y'all. I mean, I did add shitbag, but it was misogyny that gets him fired from there. I wonder how Caitlin Collins is going to react to this.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Here, Molly John Fax joining us. But Jonathan Lemire, can we go through a little more what happened in St. Paul in the church so then Lisa can break down these?
Wait. It's not what happened. It's not just what happened in the church. If Don Lemon had been there and suddenly this happens and he follows them in to see what's going on, he could claim journalism, but that's not what happened here.
Oh, but that's the part they're going to focus on because if you watch before the church is when he spilled the beans that he's good friends with the organizer and he was told about it in advance and he knew exactly what was going on. That if you ignore that, it's just like everything else. Like, oh, this is the worst crime since 2021.
We'll get back to MS Now in a minute. But before that, this is a clip. I didn't go watch the whole Don Lemon thing. I don't know if it's even still online. But I saw this clip the other day from Nate the Lawyer's video. And I'm skipping the part where he's standing there because he tries to, when he's first there with them and he's mentioning that he's friends with them, he moves out of the way. He's like, they're going to be doing some planning. I need to be over here for a second. And this is going to be his defense, Jack. Like, look, I wasn't in on the planning. However, there's an important thing that happens. And Don has a video. I wish I would have found this one where he says, I didn't know we were going to the church. I didn't know that.
We are here now. Do you think if you just have it, I think maybe if you just have it on the church.
I'm going to turn that down just a tad.
But if they see me, they're going to know. No?
How did you know this was the church? How did you know that this was what they were doing, Don? You're not inside yet. You're not with them. Nobody's told you. You're in a car with you and your crew. I didn't know I didn't know any of the planning or none of this shit. I didn't know we were going to a church.
I don't even know these assholes.
It just depends. What?
I do love this too. Like, what would they think if I walk in there? They're gonna be, oh my God, it's Don Lemon. Like, most motherfuckers know who Don Lemon is.
Like anyone knows who Don Lemon is.
If I saw Don Lemon on the street, I might know who he is. I'd probably think, wow, that guy kind of looks like a retarded version of Don Lemon. I wouldn't
Oh, it
immediately
is Don
assume.
Lemon.
I wouldn't assume it was Don Lemon, first of all. And second, Don, I don't mean this mean, but you are the most average looking black man ever. There's like nothing that sticks out about you.
He does look like the most average, forgettable black guy ever.
Yeah.
Like, if you needed to make a J.C. Penney ad with a black guy in it, you'd get somebody that looked like Don Lemon because they look like anybody.
He looks like somebody said, hey, Chat GPT, show me a black man.
Yeah, AI version of a black man.
Yeah.
Although I do have to say, from certain angles, he does kind of look like RuPaul.
He does occasionally. Yeah. I mean, this is one of them.
Which is an insult to RuPaul, and I apologize for that, because
Yeah. He is the most forgettable black man you'll ever see.
Don't name the location.
I'm not naming the location, but I mean, I'm just wondering if you see.
Don't name the location. I thought you didn't know any of this stuff, Don. How did you know that this was where you guys were going? How did you guys know? How did you know they weren't just pulling over for a minute because they had to, figure out the right directions?
you ask a lot of questions, mister.
This is the part that's going to get him in trouble.
Oh, yeah. That's what
Because
I'm saying. Anything filmed before he goes in the church gives away the entire game.
Yeah, he has screwed himself in this situation, and dumbass.
These charges and how it all matches up.
Yeah, we'll lean on her legal expertise in just a moment. But Don Lemon is now an independent journalist.
I love that. We'll lean on the expertise in a moment, but first let me indoctrinate you. Shouldn't you lead with the expertise?
No.
He's an independent journalist now.
I mean, this is MS Now. They can't really afford expertise, like real expertise.
Can I just point out that the left, including many in the media, just 2 weeks ago were calling a guy a pedophile for going to the front door of places that were supposedly preschools and pointing out that these people are robbing the taxpayer. And they're like, this guy's, he's not a journalist. He's a YouTuber. Yeah, Don's a fucking YouTuber now. But no, he's an independent journalist. It's funny how those definitions change depending on what story they want to tell.
Well, I mean, look, he's useful to a point. So when his usefulness is up, he'll just go back to obscurity, because that's what the media are, a bunch of vultures.
And they're going to do something really dirty right here. And for the record, I only watched to maybe here in the video. Well, maybe I watched longer because I did see her talk a bit. But watch this dirty shit that they pull.
No longer at CNN. He was in Minnesota covering the protests following the 2 shooting deaths there of Renee Good and then Alex Pretty. This one on January 18th in St. Paul, so just over the river from Minneapolis, protesters went inside a church. They were disruptive to this service. We'll get to Lisa.
Which is a crime. That's absolutely a crime.
Not when a journalist does it.
That would be a charge here. But and Don Lemon, to remind viewers, is someone who Donald Trump has criticized repeatedly in the past.
Tons of us have criticized him in the past because he's a bad person and a really bad journalist. But no, Donald Trump has insulted him in the past.
Good.
Donald Trump insulted Caitlin Collins to her face. Is she in jail?
No, but that was funny as shit.
How many reporters has Donald Trump insulted, sometimes literally to their faces, that aren't in prison for anything?
Look, if Trump was just rounding up journalists, there would be a lot more of them in jail.
Yeah, Jim Acosta's bitch ass doesn't have to worry about going to prison over this because his bitch ass is sitting at home whining like he always does.
Oh, you know he's scared now. He's like, oh my God, Trump's going to come for me because I'm so handsome.
Here's an idea. Don't break the law. And if you're gonna, don't film it. And if you're gonna, don't put it on the internet. And you'll be fine.
You're making a lot of sense here. That doesn't apply to journalism, Monkey.
There's 3 steps you got to get to before there's even the chance of arrest. Anyway.
That's crazy. You're crazy.
Pay attention to the video that they're showing here, though. They're not showing when Don goes up and is harassing the pastor. This part here kind of does look like journalism. He's just recording what's going on, y'all. He just filming it.
Lemon has been pretty tough on Trump. He has called him names. He frequently calls him a liar. Lemon is someone that Trump has gone after on Truth Social and the like for many years.
This all needs said before you point out what Don Lemon did. You need to set the stage that these two were adversaries.
I like how he's like making it sound like Trump went to the court and was like, okay, Mr. Judge, what I need is an arrest warrant for Don Lemon because I don't like him and he's a poopy head.
Yeah. I've insulted him on social media and he insulted me back. Give me a warrant.
Yeah, I don't approve of such behavior.
This is so dirty. This is dirty. This is the kind of shit that we tell you guys about where they're not necessarily lying. What they just said is all true. They don't like each other. They've publicly insulted each other. But it is unrelated to anything that happened.
What? You're crazy.
It is irrelevant to whether or not this man broke the law. If I love you and think you're the most perfect person in the world and you shoot somebody in the face on camera, it's not self-defense, it's just open murder. Me liking you doesn't change that, nor does me hating you.
Depends if you're on my jury.
He's always been an object of some ridicule in the MAGA movement. But what is so important here is this is what matters, is that Lemon says, and we will see.
I just want to point out that he laid all of that out before me. But what's important?
Maybe you're burying the lead there.
Why would you not start with the important part? Oh, that's right. So that you can push a narrative to your dumbass audience. Like, it's all because Trump fucking hates him. But here's the important part.
If it is the truth. But Lemon says he was acting as a journalist. He was not participating in the protest. He was covering the protest.
Okay, I'm going to blow your fucking mind, homie. Go to a prison and ask them, go into Gen Pop and just ask for them to raise their hands. How many of them committed the crime that they were convicted of? The important part is that Lemon says he didn't break the law. No, that's not the important part.
Well, why would he lie? He's a journalist.
Well, again, we have this. I might give this to him if we didn't have the full video. If Lemon hadn't have, recorded himself committing a crime and planning it. If all we had was the stuff inside and take away. Oh, okay. Let me rephrase. If all we had is the video that they just showed, if that's it, right? We don't have the video of him out front with the people talking first, him driving up and being, you don't say the name of the place. We didn't have him talking to the pastor and the pastor asking him to fucking leave and he still doesn't. Then maybe him saying that he wasn't a part of the planning and stuff would matter. But you have to throw away reality to get to that point. What matters
they're
here,
prepared to do that, though, Monkey.
What matters here is the video. The full video. Everything that Lemon did.
And if that is the case, if that's the case, that is indeed a chilling moment here for for a journalist in the United States of America doing his job as a journalist and being charged for it.
Yeah.
That is
It's chilling, Jack. If he goes to jail for this, other journalists might not film themselves breaking the law and putting it up on YouTube.
Ugh, the horror.
I've seen this chilling narrative over and over again. It's going to have a chilling effect. You guys said that about the lawsuits against you fucking shitbags, you know, when you were caught lying about people. It'll have a chilling effect. It hasn't stopped you guys from lying. It hasn't stopped you guys from defamation and all the other bullshit you guys do and get caught for. So why would this?
not.
Did he conduct interviews inside the? I mean, I know the protest was happening, and so he followed the protest in to cover the story. At any
He followed the protest and no. He went with the protesters. That's an entirely different thing. Jack, the other day we went to Walmart and there was a fat lady in front of me. I followed her in. We
You
weren't
monster.
together.
Oh. What?
I
Were
don't
you
even know
stalking
her
her?
fucking. I don't know her fucking name. She just happened to walk in front of me.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, he just followed him in. She asked there just briefly, and I don't know if he comes back because I'll be honest, by this time I was also on Twitter laughing my ass off. But she asked, did he interview anybody in there? She doesn't even know that part of the story.
Of course not. They don't care. They already crafted their own narrative.
This is the flagship show of the morning over there on MS Now. And Mia has no idea what actually happened here. But boy, is she upset by it.
Well, yeah, because she just knows how evil Trump man is.
Ah.
There's nothing more
point did
sinister than an
he
orange
take
man.
part in?
Yeah, we'll see
Sorry
if we
about
have
that. I was
footage.
trying to pause and my finger flipped.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying there?
No, there's nothing more sinister than an orange man. So clearly, the orange man did something wrong. Not innocent Mr. Lemon, because he's a journalist. They got to protect their own because they're all a bunch of crooks.
Cover the story. At any point, did he take part in?
Yeah, we'll see if we have footage here, but he did. He interviewed some of the protesters. He interviewed some of the
Oh, protest-
parishioners.
of course.
He interviewed, I think he tried to talk to the minister at one point.
Right.
No, he didn't try to talk to the minister. He told the minister that what those people were doing was fine because they have a First Amendment right to assemble, protest, and speech. Which, by the way, what he told them, absolutely false and a direct violation of the FACE Act.
Yeah, but we are talking about a guy that doesn't understand that a misdemeanor is a crime.
True. It's a misdemeanor, not a crime. That a misdemeanor is a
believe
crime,
I
homie.
fucking said that.
That's semantic. Well, I mean, this is fully semi-auto. Let's be honest. This
That's-
is Don Lemon. He's a moron. If Don Lemon wasn't black and gay, he wouldn't even have a job.
Yeah,
That's just true.
that is true.
Which was perhaps disruptive in that moment. But again, he's acting as
A journalist.
a journalist. And Lisa, let's talk about.
There is no provision of the FACE Act that says you can interrupt a service as a journalist.
There's no special rights that journalists have that the rest of us don't, because you can act as a citizen journalist. Nobody can go disrupt meetings. You're a criminal. Shut up.
Let's read the FACE Act real fast. And I want to give a special shout out to Cornell Law School here. I use them for so many things when I'm looking up the law. You can go actually to the government site and read it, but it's usually really fine print where theirs is perfect size for my reading ability.
Mm-hmm.
So I look them up when I look stuff up. I almost always end up here at Cornell, and good job, guys, for having all of this stuff. It's the act. I do need to put a caveat there. There are parts of Cornell Law School where they explain the law, and then there's places like this where they have the actual law just listed. I go to where they just have it listed because I don't necessarily need them telling me what the words I'm reading mean.
What?
But just for primary sources, I use this one a lot. 18 U.S. Code 248, freedom of access to clinic entrances. I love that even with killing babies, we need to have an acronym that sounds cool. Now, prohibited activities, whoever, and this is part one. Part one is about abortion clinics. We don't really need to read that one. But part one and part two are identical, except for one is for abortion and one is for places of worship. Otherwise, the language is identical. So we're just going to skip to two. Whoever by force or threat of force or by physical obstruction intentionally injures, intimidates, or interferes with, or attempts to injure, intimidate, or interfere with any person lawfully exercising or seeking to exercise the First Amendment right of religious freedom at a place of worship. Yeah, that's what they did. They interfered with the First Amendment right in a place of worship of people to have their worship. This is cut and dry. This is not even like, maybe he did it. He absolutely did it. He got up there and interviewed the pastor. Are you going to argue that interviewing the pastor in the middle of service isn't disruptive? That's not interfering with the people having their right to worship without an asshole being there? I'm willing to learn if somebody can make the argument that didn't interfere with it. And then the penalty, in the case of a first offense, I need to finish reading here. They shall be subject to the penalties provided in subsection B and the civil remedies provided in subsection C, except that a parent or legal guardian of a minor shall not be subject to any penalties or civil remedies under this section for such activities insofar as they are directed exclusively at that minor.
Oh, that might be his out because he's kind of retarded. He might have a handler.
But it's got to be addressed at the child, and he wasn't addressing it to his child.
No.
So there's no exception here for if you're an asshole lefty journalist who's claiming that they're doing it as journalism. There's literally no exception there.
It's an unwritten. It's in the penumbra.
It's in the yeah.
Oh,
and for this, let me get this and then do that. In the case of a first offense, be fined in according to this title, or imprisoned for not more than a year, or both. Go ahead, Jack.
Thank you, Frosted Glass. No, they're right. It really does have a chilling effect. I showed the moment to a glass of champagne, and now it's perfect drinking temperature. By the way, notice they say if Lemon is right, this is awful, but don't say if he's wrong, this is justified. Oh, no. Why would they ever do that?
Yeah, this is a very cut and dry case. There's no, even if you want to be on Lemon's side, you just acknowledge that, yeah, he absolutely broke it. But hey, I don't think that should be a problem.
Yeah, they're not arguing it's an unjust law. They're just denying that he did anything wrong, which is blatantly untrue.
They're not even really doing that. You're right, but they're not even really doing that. They're trying to hide behind this journalism exception that doesn't exist.
But they're special people, Monkey. Just ask them.
Some of them are saying that he didn't interfere with them.
Looks like somebody's interfering with that dude on the screen.
It kind of does. They're not even actually arguing that he did nothing wrong. The closest you'll see that is like I said, the Krasensteins are just yelling freedom of speech. Yeah, this is not a freedom of speech issue. This is a direct violation of the FACE Act. I mean, this is so cut and dry. This is so cut and dry that the judge who refused to issue the warrant originally should lose their position over saying no.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of judges that should be losing their positions, honestly.
Yeah.
What charge is being levied here?
And for the record, we still don't know the charge. Maybe it's been announced now. Maybe he's gone before the judge. It's either going to be the FACE Act, which there's a direct violation, or the 1870 Klan Act, which he also violated.
I'll make it the Klan Act just for comedy value. Come on, Pam.
Make it both.
I'm betting Harmeet Dillon's behind this because I don't think Pam Bondi would actually sign off if it wasn't Harmeet or Janine Pirro.
Well, what we saw with the other people who've been indicted for this, or were arrested for this, it was the FACE Act that I know of. None of them was under the Klan Act, but please do the Klan Act too.
Yeah, it's the comedy value, especially if Harmeet Dillon is prosecuting because she's Indian. So an Indian prosecuting a black man over the Klan Act, that's the trifecta of comedy, dude.
It's not even that a black man being, I get the irony of a black man getting, charged under the Klan Act, but even funnier to me will be the Democrats arguing against the Klan Act.
Well, I bet they argued against it in the first place.
They did. They absolutely did. Anyway.
Your opinion as to why this is so important.
Let's talk about what we don't know. We know that Don Lemon is still in federal custody right now as we speak. But my understanding is no charges have been filed and unsealed. Don Lemon and his legal team don't even know when he'll make his initial appearance at a Los Angeles federal court this morning.
Yeah, that typically happens in cases they unseal the charges when they when they bring them in front of the judge.
Yeah.
She's making this sound like you can know the charges in advance. It can be, when you're arrested, this is what you're arrested for. My guess is they told him. Because they didn't just roll up and arrest him like, you're under arrest, black man. Probably didn't happen.
Usually they're like, you're under arrest for this or whatever.
Yeah.
But we have a warrant for your arrest. Well, what's the charge? And then they tell you. Or they're like, I don't know, I'm just told to pick you up. But he'll find out. It's not like it's a secret they're keeping from him. He knows what he did.
Yeah, this is just to play it up like they just grabbed him in the middle of the night and snatched him and didn't even tell him why.
Yeah,
they're literally trying to make this into what they say is happening with illegals. They snatched him off the streets and didn't even tell him what he did wrong. There was no warrant.
Yeah, well, how would you know it? Besides which, these guys don't know. That doesn't mean Don Lemon doesn't know.
Cryptic, thank you. Don shouldn't fight it. He can go to jail and get all the dick he's ever wanted. Yeah. I think he could have his E. Jean Carroll fantasy fulfilled. How about that? I'll leave it at that. She's the one that said it was a fantasy, not me.
Yeah.
That having been said, Jonathan,
disturbing.
Based on the criminal complaint and affidavit that were filed when authorities tried to get initial charges against Don Lemon to stick, I can tell you that it appears that the
Sticky lemon.
Yeah. And then he rubbed his fingers on his balls. I love how much she's dressed. Based on all you have to do is like the other people have been charged and what they originally were going to charge him with. That's all you had to say here. But she's got to dress it up and make it sound so. Do you hear her voice? How? What's the word? Excitable it sounds. How do you be both
aroused? Yeah.
Excitable and just boring? Anyway.
federal government is pursuing charges under what's called the FACE Act. And the FACE Act is something that folks who follow the reproductive justice movement are very familiar with because it most commonly has been used to prosecute people who block access to reproductive health clinics, who sit there and physically block it. But the FACE Act also prohibits interfering by force with the right to religious worship. And this,
which is funny to me because she just said people who follow reproductive, they're very familiar with this. I guarantee you most of them didn't know about this clause.
Oh, yeah. They only know the parts that favor them.
This clause was not part of the original FACE Act. The original FACE Act only had the abortion clinic stuff. It was right-wingers who were like, oh, and religious services. And that's why it's number 2. It's not part of number 1. They could have done it with number 1, an abortion clinic or a church, or religious freedom. They could have put all that together. But it was added in because conservatives wanted it. And that I know of, I don't think anybody's, I don't want to say for sure, but there have not been major cases that made headlines and stuff of anybody being charged with this for disrupting church services. Because the whole thing was about abortion. But to get it passed, the Democrats had to throw that bone to the conservatives. And now Don's going to get a different bone thrown to him.
Probably not the
This is an
first time.
Yeah.
Administration who has said they won't use the FACE Act to prosecute crimes of the first type, and they are going to start to use the FACE Act to prosecute crimes of the second. When
You want to show me where they said that they wouldn't prosecute the abortion side of this?
No.
I'm not saying they didn't, but I haven't seen them. I think this is actually based on Donald Trump giving a pardon to the lady we talked about earlier, Lauren Handy.
Yeah.
She got a pardon for shit she had done before. And that doesn't mean that they would look. In the case of Lauren Handy, she's a repeat offender in this, Jack, which is why she got the we didn't finish reading the FACE Act. The first offense is only a year that you face in jail. A second offense and subsequent offenses, you can get 3 years in prison. Plus, they got her for conspiracy, so that's why she had 41 months, even though the longest sentence is only 36.
Oof.
Yeah. That I know of, they haven't said, hey, we're not going to stop you from, or we're not going to stop people who are blocking abortions. But in her case, the people who got injured there, she didn't do it. It was people who were with her. Other than forcing herself into a place that she wasn't supposed to be, she was just free speeching it up. Again, it's private property. Get your ass out. They don't want you there. I don't know what to tell you. But I think what they're doing here is, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe the Trump administration came out and said, we're not going to prosecute anybody under FACE if they block an abortion. I feel like if they had said that there would be a shit ton more stories about abortion clinics being blocked. Because then you could do it because they're not going to prosecute you for it. If you need an example of how not enforcing things causes that thing to happen, look at illegal immigration.
What? No.
Yeah. So what she just said there, I'm almost positive is a lie. Now, what they did do is say they will go after people who are they're going to enforce the entirety of the law and do part 2 that Democrats really don't like.
look at the affidavit that was filed in that criminal complaint, originally against 8 people, only 3 of them were eventually charged. There is lots of recitation about what Don Lemon allegedly did during that church protest.
Okay. This is where I have a problem with allegedly. It's all on tape. We can watch the whole thing and see what Don Lemon actually did. And I get it for, we don't want to get sued. He did it. It's on tape. You only can get sued for defamation if they didn't actually do the thing you're claiming they did. He fucking did it. Oh my God. Anyway.
Talking about him both interviewing people outside and sort of talking with the organizers of that protest, sort of embedding with them as they prepared to go in.
I love that they keep using the embed word like this is journalists embedded with the 101st Airborne when they were going into Iraq.
Well, this is a war, Monkey. It's a war for freedom against fascism.
He was embedded. That makes him a journalist. No. He was a co-conspirator, cunt.
Well, I mean, they have been using more and more of this wartime verbiage.
Sure.
Over the last couple of weeks, because as they're ramping up the rhetoric, they have to make it sound like it is the glorious revolution.
He was embedded. No, he was a part of it. And for the record, I know that I'm going to see several people on Twitter who went after Andy Ngo. Remember when Andy Ngo went to that gay thing in Portland? There was that bar, the Antifa bar. What's it called? Something Riot. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I don't remember what the name of it was.
In that case, Andy heard that they were going. He purposefully stays far away from them. He just knows that they're going to that place and he's going to record it. Which, by the way, nothing that their talk about it, none of that was a crime. Crimes start happening once they get there and fighting starts. But there were tons of lefties like, oh, he was part of it. He filmed himself being away from them as they were talking about it. Literally what Don did here. Damn, I used to know the name of it. Me too. I can't remember it. But it was a criminal bar, and yeah, they could definitely see the lack of journalism in that case. Even though that one was journalism, he literally just filmed them. He stayed back. He didn't participate in any of it. Don participated in this.
And then live streaming the protest. And as you noted, even the affidavit quotes him as saying, I'm just here to chronicle and report on what's happening. He also
Again, if I'm with a crew of bank robbers and I film myself saying, hey, I'm just here to record it, it does not absolve me. Because I'm going along with this criminal behavior. You're now aiding and abetting. Fuck, at this point, you're part of them. This is like the I was just the driver defense. I didn't know they were going to rob that bank when they had me drive them there and they were all wearing black and baklavas and had semi-automatic weapons. I thought they were going to make a deposit.
scores. At one point, I'm going to read to you from the complaint. I'm looking at a young man who's in the corner. He's frightened. He's scared. He's crying. People are leaving church. An unknown male parishioner was observed yelling to the agitators, telling them to get out.
Yeah, remember our bearded friend who was real big and bold until they actually did arrest his ass? Don Lemon just sank your case because you said nobody asked you guys to get out.
Oops. Well, it is on video that they.
It's all on video, yeah.
And then he says, I don't think they know what to do. I'm sure they probably called the local authorities right now. If I'm guessing, the authorities, the federal authorities, are relying on some of Don Lemon's own language to suggest that the protesters themselves were putting the people in the church in fear of their safety. Which
well, you just had to look at some of those people to think they were in fear for their safety.
Right. No, they're pointing to his words because it points out that any reasonable person looking at this would be like, wow, they're scaring those kids over there.
Yeah. Oh, they're not afraid. Yeah.
It cannot be understated how important it is that they were told to leave. Because remember, homeless retard guy, he's like, they never asked us to leave. We were welcomed in. Even doesn't Don even say that we were welcomed in? No, you weren't. You were asked to fucking leave.
Well, their excuse was because they appeared to be parishioners and then like launched into their diatribe like midway through the sermon. So that's why they're saying they were welcomed in, because they were disguised as parishioners.
Thank you, Frosted. At the church, he didn't ask their point of view. He argued. Yes, he did. He was on their side. He makes the argument for why it's okay for them to be there.
Yep.
Which is how they are criminalizing this protest. But how that means Don Lemon himself.
No. For the record, let's go back to the FACE Act for a second here. This is how they're criminalizing it, by saying that the intimidation. No. There's a very, very important word right there. Interfering. They could have all been like, they could have been laughing about the whole thing. And it's still a crime because you interfered with their worship. See the lies these fuckers tell? Oh, I fucking hate the press, man. I fucking hate them. They are all a bunch of dickbag liars. Anyway, back to MS Now.
Is criminally liable is something that I think you, and others are going to be struggling to understand in the coming days.
I have no doubt that you and everybody at that table are going to struggle with this. But I also think you probably struggle with breathe in, breathe out, breathe in again. Because you're retarded.
Again,
I just love that we're confused. That's not an argument. I don't understand is not an argument. Go find. You probably don't understand because you didn't actually read the statute. Statute's very clear. Tall person, thank you. Happy National Big Wig Day. What type of wig can cover up your gay hair? Oh, I would assume any that can fit over my big ass head. I've never worn a wig. Well, maybe like a Halloween wig. But I do wonder if they're like hats. I have trouble getting hat. I have to have an adjustable size hat because I have a giant fucking head. So I wonder if I got a wig, I would look like Joy Reid, where it doesn't quite fit right and you can see it. Thank you, Gigi Mellon. Gigi Evans, thank you. Coco Mellon got arrested. Well, he did half the work for them since he had a pair of fuzzy handcuffs on when they found him.
I brought my own handcuffs.
we have not seen the federal charges. They
By the way, thank you, tall person. I don't know if I said thank you. Thank you, sir.
have not been unsealed in Minnesota, nor has any indication of his arrest been unsealed in Los Angeles. We await those right now, along with his legal team, Abby Lowell, of course, saying this is a violent infringement of Don Lemon's First Amendment rights.
Oh,
violent. Oh, fuck you. I bet you the arrest went perfectly, nice. I hope it's on body cam and we get to see it eventually.
Oh my God. Somebody's petitioning for that body cam footage right now, I'm sure.
It's
probably John Ward.
You're right. He did a video on Dan Bongino the other day, and this is after this had happened, and I left him a comment like, dude, how's there not a Don Lemon video?
He's
And then
probably
he
trying to
made
get
one.
that body cam footage.
He did finally make one. It was awesome. A violent attack on Don Lemon's First Amendment right. I think you could make a better argument that the protest at this church was violent than Don Lemon being arrested being violent. Am I wrong on that? Now, maybe we'll get some footage of Don and he'll have some black eyes and stuff, but let's be honest, that's from him being in the holding tank overnight and 69, those balls banging off his eyeballs. But a violent attack on his First Amendment. Fuck
so
you.
Violent.
Fuck you. And I want to remind you guys, these are all people who think everybody who went inside the Capitol on January 6th should have gotten long prison sentences. And that was at a government building, one that's owned by the people. But they were like, you can't come in right now. And these guys think that those folks should be in prison for life because they tried to disrupt democracy that day.
Oh,
violent. Fuck you.
And I think I remember watching some of the coverage of Don Lemon covering what was happening inside the church. And I think that he was talking about the children who were crying in the church, that there was a lot going on.
She just read you the quote of that part, you moron.
Yeah, but those children were crying because they love journalism so much, and Don Lemon's their hero.
I just called these guys idiots, just a moment ago because we won't understand this. I just want to point out that is literally the part that the bitch just read her. And she's like, I think I remember that.
I hate to tell you this, Monkey, because I know I've said this to you before, but journalists on MSNBC are much like a lot of YouTubers that we've seen, Hassan. They don't actually engage in a conversation. They just wait for their turn to talk.
Yeah, you're probably right about that, but it was literally the part that just happened.
Real quick. Thank you, tall person. And some for you, Mr. Jack. Oh, thank you. Happy Fun at Work Day. If you have fun at your job, you don't work a day in your life. I'm having a lot of fun at my job right now.
I love my job. Although I hate some of the people we have to watch. I mean, you are a multimillionaire for being a journalist, and you couldn't listen to the person you brought on to talk about this just a moment ago.
There's a lot of hate in your heart. You know that?
On at the same time and said, I'll have to, that's what happens in a protest or something.
He said, I'm going to read from
Yeah,
that,
could you-
Mika. You're
could you
right.
Get me to that.
Yes. This is the beginning.
Why read it to her? She just ignored the part you had read.
Come on, she's just
Thinking
thinking
of
of that
what-
song, Let the Children Cry. Maybe that's not a real song. I don't know.
That is a real song by White Lion. When the Children Cry and Wait were their two hits.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait.
See, I thought it had a rhythm that sounded familiar, but I couldn't place the hair band. I thought I just made it up in my head.
No, that dude looked weird because he had like super skinny legs
Yeah.
and then wore a big leather jacket and big blonde hair. And he just,
He looked top heavy.
yeah, it looked like he was one of those people that has that, the Ricky, what's his
Schroeder?
name? No, the weird cripple guy on Twitter.
Berwick?
Berwick, thank you. Like he had Berwick legs. Speaking of which, whoever sent me the video, and I could pull it up, but we're not going to watch it on here, of the two cripples kicking the ball at each other. Thank you. That was funny as fuck.
To read from
Yeah,
that,
could you-
Mika. You're
could you
right.
Get me to that.
Yes. This is the beginning of what's going to happen here. Again, this is from Don Lemon's
Right.
live stream the day of the
Yes.
protest inside the church. When
Yeah, we all got that when she said she thinks she remembered saying that. And could you tell her what she said or what he said? Their
They
audience,
really got, their audience must be retards, dude. How do you forget all this already?
yeah, it literally again just happened.
Yeah.
I
This
want to
is
see.
impressive.
I'm just worried that this is one I don't know if I can show that one because it's one of those videos that I'm sure somebody has put into one of those shitbag groups. So like, we'll copyright claim every video.
Yeah.
Make sure you get all your money that you deserve for it.
you violate people's due process, when you pull people off the street and start dragging them and hurting them and not abiding by the Constitution, when you start doing all of that, people get upset and angry. And then
I just want to point out that he's saying, hey, keep in mind what they just laid out there. I remember Don saying that the children are scared, and then he gave some explanation, and his explanation goes, this is what happens when you pull people out, which, by the way, not even the right guy. So what Don is saying there is we're going to scare children over this.
Yeah, sometimes you have to make people uncomfortable. Who says a protest has to be peaceful, monkey?
How do you listen to what Don said there and that specific part where he's talking about there's a scared child over there. This is what you get, fucker. Like that kid had anything to do with it? Like the 10-year-old in the corner voted for Donald Trump?
Oh, his kids probably, or his dad probably did. Is there a phobia for fear of journalists?
Yeah, it's called common sense.
Oh, yeah. Well, this kid probably has it by now. We could probably name it after him if there isn't one.
I just love that they're presenting this as though it's Don saying something. Don is talking about scaring children because of something political going on.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a garbage person, man.
He is. He absolutely is.
And the affidavit continues, name redacted, which people understand to be Don Lemon, goes on to suggest
Phone's ringing.
Did somebody on MS Now just have their phone on?
Yeah. Wasn't either of us.
Oh, that is priceless. They are such a professional outlet over there.
that according to the Constitution, again, this is the Department of Justice's words, there are no limitations to protesters on where and when they can exercise their constitutional rights. That's the whole point of it, is to disrupt, and that's what they're doing, and that's what I believe.
Oh, you're retarded then.
there's absolutely limits on that. You do not have a right to go onto private property and protest. You have no right for that. You can absolutely be, they're like, hey, do you know what the term trespass means?
No, they can go wherever they want, monkey.
This is one of those times where if I was a bad person, I would be like, you guys should go to her house and protest.
Yeah.
Go into her kitchen and protest. There are no limits. She just agreed with Don Lemon here.
Yeah, and you can eat all her nachos.
So Don Lemon now being held, though, and they have no official charges at
Not
this
yet.
point.
No,
So-
and let's remember this.
No, there are official charges. They just haven't been read in court.
Yeah, they haven't announced it to the media, so it doesn't exist.
Like no charges yet. We just don't know what they are because they haven't been unsealed. The fact that they're sealed means they exist, you fucking retards.
I really want to watch this body cam footage now because I'm curious how much whining he did in the cruiser.
Oh,
Like,
God, yeah.
he was whining the entire time to jail. And that poor cop is sitting there like, I just have to get into the jail. Can I go license siren for this? Because otherwise there might be an accident.
Also comes just a few weeks after the FBI searched a Washington Post reporter's home.
Yes.
On a national security
And took
matter.
computers.
Took devices, took computers, and the Post was assured that the reporter herself was not a target of the investigation. It was one of her sources. But that was seen as a real crackdown on the freedom of the press.
Do I have to bring up Obama again?
Yeah, Obama spied on Cheryl Atkinson, named James Rosen as a co-conspirator so that he could get into that guy's phone records to get information.
The Biden administration just did it over Ashley Biden's sex journal. Frank, thank you. Do you think he begged for a cavity search? Probably like, you're not going to cavity search me, are you?
Oh, that'd be the worst.
I hope you don't go deep.
Oh, please don't brutalize me with your big manly baton. It's nothing like skeeving out the local cops.
Lisa, and again, I keep coming back to this.
All right, so there's the end of MS Now's coverage on this stupid shit.
Free.
But I wanted to highlight that again. I'd only seen like about half of it. It got worse from the part that I seen, but just the way that they set it up. First of all, like Don Lemon's been arrested and we really don't know why. And then this guy comes on there. Donald Trump hates Don Lemon. Now let's talk about the important stuff. And then didn't even actually talk about the important stuff. Never show him interviewing the pastor. Don't bring up the part of the FACE Act that says interfering. Instead, trying to, this probably is about the intimidation, which Don Lemon didn't intimidate anyone. Doesn't matter. He did interfere with it.
I think there's a 6-year-old kid that was in the audience that would disagree with him.
$5 says Lemon said, I can't breathe. That's only because his boyfriend was plugging his nose when they first got there. If y'all know what I mean. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not going any deeper on that one.
You could go balls deep.
Now I want to bring up Miss Handy again. Cass one, thank you. Oh, that's a long one. I need to. This is a story about when Handy was. How many jokes do you think this woman has had to endure over her last name being Handy? Anyway,
Do you think she gave a lot of handies, or was she anti-handy?
a jury convicted her of 2 charges: conspiracy against the rights and violating freedom of access, and more commonly known FACE. This is what she was found guilty of because she was absolutely guilty. You can disagree with the law. You can think the law is wrong. But if you violate that law, you violated that law.
Yeah.
I used to have this argument with marijuana smokers all the time. Like, I got arrested for it. Like, well, it's illegal. What you need to do is change the law instead of flagrantly flouting it and being like, nah, fuck the law, and then crying when you get busted for it.
Yeah, well, they're kind of a bunch of crybabies anyway, most of the time.
I wanted to highlight this post because this is actually what made me want to stream. This is LFR Family, who I enjoy. I haven't actually watched Van in a while, but I used to really enjoy Van stuff. I'm not saying I don't enjoy it now. I've just found other things, and you know how the internet works.
Yep.
He says this is a waste of our time, and it makes the Trump administration look foolish. Sorry, I mispronounced. Fans of this administration will clap and cheer, but we need to get away from the blood sports of tallying points for the sake of temporary watered down victories.
He does understand that you don't just politically choose when to enforce the law.
Well, the truth is we do. There's tons of people who haven't been charged for shit they clearly did because of the politics involved. So I get what you're saying. But in this case, when it's so blatant and it's out there, and you can't just ignore this one.
No.
Unpopular opinion, even if the law changes, they should stay in jail. You broke the law as written at the time. My problem with that is usually when that happens, it's something that I don't believe should have been a law in the first place. And so when the law is no longer that law, then you're guilty at that point of nothing. I hear what you're saying. It was the law at the time. But if the law changes now, you shouldn't stay in jail. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Unless you still think, the law was important, which most of the time I don't in those cases. Anyway, so Jack, there it is. Don Lemon has been arrested. The left is going to lose their fucking shit. They already started, man. Twitter is fun. It is so fun. Because all of the usual suspects, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Yeah. I'm going to be honest, I can't believe it happened either, because typically with the press, they back down like, oh, wait, we don't want to look bad.
Yeah.
The press does not have special rights in this country.
What?
You don't. Any U.S. citizen has the exact same rights as anybody who is, I'm using air quotes here, press. This is like, remember Chris Cuomo? Like, we get to see things that you guys can't. No, you can't, fucker. That's not how the law works. There is no press exception for the law. This is why, in those cases, I'm protecting a source. There is no federal thing that says the sources that you can keep sources anonymous. It's another reason why these people don't film themselves going along with criminals, Don, because at that point you can no longer say you're not part of it.
Real quick, thank you, Okie Native. If only there was an author who still needs to release his next book. You know what ellipses is for. Yes, thank you. They could get a jump start on the Don Lemon in jail fanfic stories to release online. That's not a bad idea.
Just notice the kitty on the screen. Well, I just put her up. I like to put pictures of Phoebe up here in between segments, or when I don't want to look at Don Lemon's ugly ass. Yeah, that's my kitty. Last night when I went to bed, she decided that she needed all the loves and laid on my chest for like half an hour getting pet.
Aw.
I was like, I need to go to sleep. So I rolled her over and she just laid right next to me for another 10 minutes. Chaos One, thank you. They are upset because journalists used to be a shield. True. Did I ever read your other one? I did not. Thank you for the one over on Streamlabs. If the 10-year-old did vote for Trump, he better hope he's not black or his mom will kick him out. I know what you're referencing. And record it and post it online as some sort of humiliation purity ritual. Yeah, we saw that. What was that, during the 2020 election?
I think so.
Mom asked her kid who he'd vote for, and he said Trump, so she kicked him out.
That
And
poor kid.
Thought it was a good idea to post that shit online.
Yeah, he's gonna be scarred for life.
Sorry, I didn't read that sooner. I get distracted so easily. Don, you're you belong in jail for this. And at the very least, you deserve the fine for it. If I remember correctly, the fine is like 10 grand or something like that. I could go to the FACE Act and read C. What is C? Any person aggrieved by reason of conduct. Yeah, this is the other thing. Everybody in that church now has the right to sue Don Lemon.
Oh,
Yeah, because he violated their civil rights.
oops.
Whoopsie. And each of them can get like $10,000 per instance.
Oops.
So each of the people who were doing this, but again, that's based on my memory of reading this before. Check. There's a fine for it, which maybe the fine is $250K, and then there's the civil "you violated my rights, so I can sue you" thing. Whether or not it's worth getting a lawyer for 10 grand, that's because Don has lawyers that can keep you in limbo forever.
Yeah, I think it comes down to how badly do you want to fight it, or how hilarious do you want to make Don's miserable life?
True. Yeah. Breaking. Oh God. All right, let's read it. Breaking. Actor Ben Stiller just posted this letter to America. I love our country, but like so many of us, I am concerned about the future of our democracy. Man, did they get that democracy thing out there?
Oh yeah,
It's our democracy. Don Lemon being arrested has literally zero to do with democracy. Not a fucking thing. Nobody voted for Don Lemon, homie.
Don Lemon voted for Don Lemon.
We've now seen the violent murder of American citizens. You just caught that? You didn't catch any of that with the illegals, huh?
Fascism, something.
Killed in cold blood. You have not seen that. You have not seen that. You know what? I was watching one of my reaction channels. They reacted to Straight Outta Compton. And there was actually a funny moment. I'm watching this because it's a black lady that I'm watching, and she doesn't identify with anything in there because she grew up in rural America. And I realized for half a second that at least culturally, I'm blacker than she is. I grew up listening to NWA. But as I'm watching and you know, clips play of the movie, I realize that a lot of these people think that they're living in 90s Compton with the way police act. Because we'll be honest, the police in the 90s, and especially in inner cities, many of them were fucking horrible. Like really fucking horrible. But that's how they all act. Like these protesters are being arrested because they're darker skin than milk. Remember that one lady, that fucking white lady, yelling at the black cop, if you took off that mask, you'd be arrested too. They all think they're living in a 90s hood movie.
Yeah, they think they live in colors.
That movie was so goddamn boring. I couldn't even watch it in one sitting.
I hate that movie.
That movie's so dumb.
It was preachy and boring. It's like, what was that other one? Crash.
I have never seen Crash.
Don't.
But there were a lot of movies that came out around that time. Colors is one of the first highlighting the criminal LAPD. Just call them what they were. But it was so boringly done. And it comes out around the same time as Boys in the Hood, which is a better movie, but not written as well.
Yeah, Colors was meant to be like an Oscar movie.
Yes. Just some of the dialogue in Boys in the Hood is like, oh, somebody's first time writing.
Yeah.
But it was a better story. Yeah, it's very much like the people who wish they were there for the hippie moments of the 60s and 70s against Vietnam. We now see these people who still feel like they're, by the way, these people who've never lived that life. Ben Stiller never had to live the hood life, but he saw colors and like, the police are all bad.
Ugh, boring.
Anyway, in broad daylight by masked ICE agents. You know why they're masked? Because some of you fucking weirdos keep or keep saying that you're gonna like go to their homes and stuff. None of you want them unmasked so you can be like, hey, good job, Tom. These were our neighbors, their lives. You didn't live near either of these people. Stop it. Ben, you live in Los Angeles with all your little rich friends. I'm sure there's a lot of gay teachers in your group because, well, how else are you going to get access to kids that have been abused so that it can keep going on? But these are our neighbors. I'm so tired of that kind of line.
Yeah.
The only time that's actually been true was when Mark Ruffalo was standing up for the dead pedophile who raped a 9-year-old boy.
Oh, yeah.
Because he knew JoJo personally.
Well, he probably knows a lot of pedophiles. He's in Hollywood.
These were our neighbors. Their lives ended by armed militias entering our communities with impunity.
Oh, my God. Can they get any more hyperbolic?
No. I mean, once you're calling people worse than Nazis, can you get more hyperbolic?
I guess. Ridiculous.
They were denied due process. No, because both of those were legal shootings, which by definition, due process was followed. I know you don't like that. I know people no, due process means going to court. No, it doesn't. It just means that you went through the process legally. And when you aim your car at somebody and gun it and they shoot you, that due process jumps right to self-defense.
Yeah, I really take no issue with people shooting someone that tries to run them over. That seems like a common sense approach to me, but I guess I'm the outlier here.
They were denied due process in life and dignity in death.
Oh, fuck off. There's no dignity in dying anywhere. Oh, dignity in death. What the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know.
Like, you don't poop yourself when you die? Fuck off.
There's an excellent scene.
Retard.
I'm going to pop culture again. There's an excellent scene in House where there's a woman who decides she doesn't want any more treatment. And she says, I want to die with dignity. He goes, there's no such thing.
He's right.
You can have dignity in life, not in death. Death is horrible. It's gross.
Yeah, it's awful. And it's awful to watch. But this is, dignity. They were robbed of dignity and death. Fuck you.
Thank you, Chaos One. Due process does not equal due process of law. That seems victory to me.
What?
I don't understand what that. How,
due process of law is you're going through the legal system. Due process means you can be cleared by a panel of people before it ever gets to that stage.
Sure. Where are we? They were denied due process and dignity and death by an administration who refuted the reality the world saw, shifting blame to the victims and creating false narratives about their lives and those fateful days. Okay, I do need to talk about that for a second. One, we need to make a correction from our last show. The audience, somebody in the audience told us that there was a Minnesota law that made it illegal to carry during a protest. That's not true, apparently. My bad for just agreeing. And because I think my retort to that was it was even more illegal. I should have looked it up instead of just accepting. But I do want to say this about the administration, because every time this shit happens, and for the record, for the police in general, I get it. The public wants an answer immediately. But so often you guys come out and you give statements that turn out to be false later. When what you should just do is, we are investigating this. When we have more facts, we will give you our statement on it.
That's because the administrators are all a bunch of camera hogs. And
And we
they want to
we
be on TV because they're politicians, basically.
I'm not just talking about in this case. We've seen it with several police departments over the years with
Oh,
shootings
yeah.
and stuff. Just shut the fuck up until you have all the facts. Just shut the fuck up.
Few of them have been sued for that because
Yeah.
they come out and say this person did this and they didn't do it. And it's because some sheriff or police chief wants to get his name in the paper.
Yeah, even if you want to do something like based on preliminary reports, no. Just like we are looking into this situation, we are looking into it because a lot of the pushback on it comes from stupid shit like Kash Patel being like, can't even bring a gun to a protest. That's where that shit started from, which is not true. It's just not true. The problem wasn't him having a gun at a protest. It was him getting into a fight with the police, the gun going off, whatever gun it was. Because there's now video. I saw Nate the lawyer again. God, dude. I get it. You want to be on the side of fuck the police, and you think this gave you a chance, but a video comes out that supposedly shows one of the ICE agents firing right behind the guy on the ground, whatever his fucking name is. I don't even care. And like his arm jolts. That's how you know. His arm doesn't even jolt in the clip. But they're like, clearly, you fired a gun, Jack.
Several times.
How much, if you're holding let's call it a 9mm. I'm not sure what they were carrying, but the police officer pulls out his standard issue. So we're probably talking 9.
Yeah, 9
How
or
much
40 usually.
If you're holding that gun casually at your side, you're not aiming it, steadying yourself for it, and that gun goes off. How much is your arm going to bounce? Is it going to be barely noticeable, or is it going to be like kind of noticeable because a fucking explosion just happened in your hand?
It'll be fairly noticeable, I would say, most of the time, especially if you're using one hand. Yeah, I would say there's going to be a noticeable recoil.
Yeah, it's going to be something that is absolutely visually noticeable.
Yeah.
And you can see this in other videos where a gun accidentally goes off because somebody's being a moron with it.
Oh my God. Yeah. There's a lot of those.
A lot of people drop the gun in that case.
Yeah. Well, sorry.
In the video, the arm doesn't even really move. Like clearly you can see it move here.
No, that's pretty unlikely. I mean,
Well,
if you're even with training and discipline, you're still going to have some bounce to it, and you're going to have the muzzle flash and the slide will move. That's just normal.
there's an easy way to test this because you can see where the gun is pointed, and you can go to Minnesota to the spot where it happened and see if there's a gunshot that hit the concrete or the asphalt, because it would leave a mark. I don't know if you know this, but asphalt is actually pretty soft, especially compared to getting shot at point blank range.
Well, I'm sure according to how they describe bullets, there's a giant crater there where it burrowed its way through the earth.
As far as I know, we still don't know where that first shot came from. And that shot is why he gets shot. It's why he gets killed.
Yeah.
If you want to make a case that whoever fired the original shot is guilty of some reckless endangerment, I'll be on your side, probably. But it depends on who shot it.
I really think it was a misfire from the SIG P320 because that makes a lot of sense to me.
Speaking, I don't care about what Ben Stiller's dumbass says, so I'm going to get that.
It came from Oswald.
Yes.
There was a book depository blocks over.
Fuck. Somebody sent a video to me about the Air Force incident where somebody got shot, and that's why they pulled all those SIGs.
Yeah.
They've reinstated the SIG because it turned out that guy lied.
Really?
Yes. So the situation was there were 4 guys sitting around, and one of them was jokingly pointing his gun at his friend.
Why? Why would you do that?
Because he's a retard.
Yeah, he should be up on charges for being a retard. Because why
Oh.
would you ever do that?
He's up on charges for involuntary. So he pulls the trigger accidentally
Yeah, accidentally.
and then convinces the other two airmen there to go along with his story. They're all in trouble now.
Well, he's waving a gun around, so there is some incentive there.
Yeah, and in that case, however, that does not mean the SIG does not have an issue.
Yeah, there have been several incidences with that firearm.
Most of it comes from a very particular brand. I ended up doing research on this.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole and a half, man.
A particular brand of holster, for some reason, caused they actually redesigned them. I believe they redesigned the SIG for this, but the holster itself was causing the issue.
Oh,
The
that's
SIG
interesting.
being way too hair trigger is the overall problem with no safety on it. But yeah, in the case, they did reinstate him for military use, but yeah, dumbass liar. But here's the thing: the reason that story went so big is because the SIG has a problem.
Yeah.
And so he, instead of it being that the gun went off, he used that as his excuse, so he didn't get in trouble for being a dumbass who just murdered his friend. Because there's no animosity there. Yeah, he was just fucking around. Don't play with guns, dummies.
Yeah, look, I learned at like age 5, don't point guns at things you don't want to die.
You're I don't even see the joke of pointing a loaded gun at your friend.
No, there's no joke there. Even drunks know better. You're just person being an asshole.
Yeah. Guns can kill. They're not a joke, man. But yeah, it's just an update to that story. Yeah, I never saw the update on that. Did you see the Abba and Preach video on it? I saw Abba, the video that you sent me, Understatement. I watched part of it, and I was getting annoyed with it because, look, guys, do I think there was some ICE overreaction here? Probably. But I also understand why. None of this shit would be happening. Whose video was it? Oh, you know what? It's the same guy from the video about the SIG. Somebody sent me a video on that, and I watched it, and I forget the guy's name. But I was watching his video on this, and all of this has been a fine shoot. What's his name? Angry Cops. That's the name of the YouTube channel. Everything they did was legal. They weren't. Who is it that told us they don't have the right to crowd control? They weren't doing crowd control. And if the state and local police were in here keeping these crowds away from the federal agents doing their job, actually doing the riot control that they're supposed to be doing, because it's not the federal agents' jobs, then literally none of this shit would have happened.
Yeah. They have a lot less experience. Their job is to go in and grab people. They're not like patrolman cops. So people don't understand there's a lot of different types of law enforcement jobs. Immigration doesn't typically handle crowds. They go in and grab guys and arrest them and deport them. That's their job. That's primarily what they do. They're not like serving warrant. They're warrant processors more than anything. They're not like out there making like DUI busts. They're authorized to be able to do other law enforcement activity, but that's not something they specialize in. So when they're in these situations with these protesters, they don't have as much experience with it. So they often will make more mistakes, positioning yourself wrong or stuff like that. So if the locals were doing the grunt work that they were supposed to be doing, then you wouldn't have a lot of these situations. But Penn inserting himself and trying to de-arrest somebody, which is still not a thing, that created the scenario. I'm alone again. I just realized that. I was looking at my other screen. So yeah, I don't know. This whole thing is stupid. Welcome back.
Like, why the fuck does he keep talking over me? My mic had gone.
You weren't
out.
talking. I'm sorry.
I was absolutely talking.
I didn't hear you.
Son of a bitch! How dare you? No, sorry about that. Yeah, my mic just disconnected again. Sorry about that.
We got a
couple of things. Sin Nikki, thank you so much. No one is mentioning that the SIG has a known issue of misfiring. I wonder why. For the record, nobody knows which gun it is. When Jack said that's his belief, it's based on what we do know about the SIG misfiring. But there is there's no muzzle flash from any of the guns that you see, so you can't tell that way. Despite what that one video says, there's nobody clearly has a jolt from a shot. Excuse me.
Yeah, the reason I say it was probably the SIG is because that's what they identified as the firearm that he had on him.
Yes.
That's what's officially been released, is that he had a Sig Sauer P320. And that's the one that has all these problems.
And since we know about him, that's why you and me both, that as soon as we started talking about it, because I think you brought it up, like, isn't that the one that misfires? So you're right. The press isn't talking about it. But in fairness, nobody actually knows which gun fired first. But I wanted to talk about this. As Starlet says, go ahead, Jack. I'm sorry.
Until they identify who shot first, this whole thing's going to be a speculative clusterfuck.
Even after they find out, there's probably still going to be a lot of speculation, because especially if it is the SIG, whether the agent had his finger too close to the trigger or something stupid like that.
Yep.
But anyway, Starlet Misfit says, if the ICE guys were wearing body cams, it would go a long way to clarifying things. It worked for the regular police. I saw somebody the other day, like, they don't wear body cams. Yeah, they do. Many of
these
them
guys
are
had
wearing
body cams. They already said some of them did.
We saw it in the Renee Good thing. They released the body cam footage. I mean, many of them are wearing body cam. They're just not releasing all of the footage the way that the police do when something like this happens.
Yeah, there's different rules for that for the feds, because the locals are dictated by state and local laws.
Yeah.
And the different FOIA requests that you can do. With the feds, it's a different ballgame. Regardless of that, you can't sue one federal agent. You have to sue the organization. They're immune because they have a different form of qualified immunity, but individually, you can't sue an individual federal agent.
Yeah. Dude from Renee Good was a cell phone dude used. Which one? The one where you see him get hit?
Yeah, he had the cell phone footage is what was released in that one.
Yeah, the idea that there's no body cams is just wrong.
Yeah, they did say that some of these guys at the Pettit shooting did have body cams on. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if that's accurate or not.
And for the record, I am for all police wearing body cams when they're on duty. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because usually it's proven over and over again. Look at that one girl in Columbus that got shot, charging the fat kid that charged the cop and he had to shoot her.
Oh, yeah.
And LeBron James doxed him.
Yep.
That was a clean shoot. And if he didn't have a body cam, it would have been another bullshit Michael Brown story.
It might not have been the SIG or the ICE officer, but rather someone from the crowd. I do feel like we would have heard that by now. And when the shot goes off, the guy who's running with the SIG, who's taking it away from him, he does turn and look back. And at that close range, maybe there's too much of an echo in the streets there. It's hard to say. But it being somebody else, the timing, I mean, it happened in the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. It's possible, sure. Is it likely? No, it's probably one of those guns that's in the fray there. People complaining about body cams have no idea how tedious and cumbersome it is to pay for anything in government work. Yeah, I'm not saying it's an easy task. I just think it's, especially in today's age, it's a doable task. Many, even small police departments run them. I just think the more that we get to see what's going on, the better. Yeah. And I do think more often than not that it's exonerated cops. We've seen over and over again, like the case Jack was just talking about. They drug that dude through, and then the body cam comes out like, oh yeah, he was in the right. Just saying. I wear a body cam, and I'm a delivery driver. They're cheap. To Understatement's point just a moment ago, just because it's cheap for you doesn't mean it's going to be cheap for the government.
Nothing's ever cheap when the government
Yeah.
does it, except the quality of the result.
Yeah, go look at the $1,000 toilet seats from the 80s. Those weren't even full toilets. It was the toilet seat. And what were they had like $400 hammers, and these weren't like special hammers. They were wood handled metal hammers, and they were $400. You can pick them up right now with inflation at your local whatever place sells hammers for like $15, and the government was paying over $400 for them. Chaos One, thank you. Who shot first? No, who shot first? What shot first? And I don't know. Was detaining. All right. Don Lemon got arrested.
Yeah, good times.
Body cams have shown bad cops, but it has also shown violent suspects. Yeah, I'm not saying it hasn't shown any bad cops. Absolutely, it has.
Yeah, there was that one guy that was planting drugs on people's cars, and he
Yep.
filmed himself doing it.
Yep. But then there's the other one where the officer that you see him put the drugs down, and they're like, look, he did that, but he actually just put it back where he originally found it.
Yeah.
So yeah, body cam. My point to him is that from what I've seen, more often it shows that, believe it or not, guys, criminals are liars.
I know, we're all shocked.
Yeah. I suspect the $400 hammers were part of a black budget. They were part of they were part of just the way the government does business. There no bid contracts and stupid shit like that. Instead of being, this is a true story. My dad, when he worked at the firefighting school, he got himself a nice government hammer because they had to spend a certain amount of money, because if you don't spend the money the next year, your budget's cut by whatever you didn't spend. So the people who spend that money make sure they spend it all, and they didn't really need anything, so he just bought a bunch of hammers, and they gave them out to the guys. But he couldn't just go down to the local Ace Hardware where you could get one for a really nice hammer for $30. He had to order them through the government supplier, who charged $400.
Yeah, it would be nice if a lot of the theories about the government's super competence were true.
Yeah.
But it's really just bureaucracy and generalized incompetence and stupidity, or corruption. Sometimes a combination of those.
Moonshock says that's the second rule in government: spend it all, or in government spending, spend it all or you get less next time. Not always. There's two different fundings that are done. One of them is based on that, your funding of the last year, and some of it is just block funding. And no matter what, whether you spend it or not, you got it for next year. The military, at least at that time, wasn't part of that. That definitely happens for a lot of your NGOs out there.
Yeah.
And it's one of the...
Real quick, thank you, Frosted Glass. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bud.
I thought this debate was solved a long time ago. It wasn't ICE. It wasn't Pettit. It wasn't someone in the crowd. It was Han. Han shot first.
True. Alpha.
Solo.
Alpha, thank you again. Most of the idiots protesting ICE are boomers who don't care about Ruby Ridge. It's all performative activism. You know, I just recently rewatched Wendigoon's videos on both Ruby Ridge and Waco. And yeah, if you see what happened in those, and you try to compare it to what they're claiming is, you know, violations of civil rights and shit from ICE right now, they are so worlds apart.
Yeah.
Trust me, I am not a fan of our government. I am not a fan of government in general. I believe it needs to be as small as humanly possible to keep civilization moving forward. That's it. Keep us safe and get out of the way. But when the bad guys are being bad, I'm not going to stand up and be like, fuck the government. These are people who are literally protesting to keep illegals here. 70% of these are of the arrests are for people who have violent criminal histories in our country that they don't even belong in. These are rapists and murderers. These are not people you should be out there in the streets demanding are allowed to stay here. But Trump said they're bad, so clearly they're good. And it literally doesn't boil down to anything deeper than that.
Well, he is Orange Monkey.
He is orange. He's orange and bad for some reason because of that. I'm so tired of these assholes. Do we have a statement from Bondi? We have a Bondi statement, Jack.
Oh, well, before you get to that, thank you, Okie Native. A lady I know had $250K left to spend when Trump was first elected. He made them justify cost spending like that to use up the budget. She bought 5 years worth of stationery and a Connex container to store them in, plus 12 Herman Miller chairs. Wow. Well, at least to be comfortable for a little while.
Yeah, this was part of all of that money coming back that Trump did at the beginning when we had Doge and all that.
Yeah.
It was, hey, you haven't spent this money, give it back. And there are people, how dare you tell them money that they don't need should come back to us.
But that's my slush fund.
They don't even live anywhere near these people. No, they don't. No. That's our neighbor. Fuck you. Anyway, what'd Pam say?
Make no mistake, under President Trump's leadership and this administration, you have the right to worship freely and safely. And if I haven't been clear already, if you violate that sacred right, we are coming after you.
Was the
Pam,
warrant on your desk?
Put your dick away.
She's got to look like she's doing something.
We've talked. This is my problem with Bondi. I understand how the system works, so I'm not on the train of she's not doing enough. That's welcome to America. But don't come out here and act like you are and just walk out and slap your dick on the desk and be like, I'm you. Just go away. Nobody needed this from you.
No, but this is what she always does. She comes out and makes these proclamations, and then nothing happens.
We didn't need to hear from you on this one, Pammy. What did Brian say? Brian is having a meltdown today. There's no way Don Lemon is going to be convicted of a crime here. I mean, let's be honest. This is going to be in a Los Angeles courtroom. So yeah, there's even though it's a federal case, it's in Los Angeles. There's a good chance he'll be acquitted. Does that mean he didn't do anything?
No.
OJ was not convicted.
Yeah, Casey Anthony got away.
You clearly don't understand the First Amendment. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Sorry, guys, I have to post real fast.
Uh-oh. We're doing it live. Bondi's a complete imbecile and a waste of taxpayer funds. I would actually argue that Harmeet Dillon should have her job because Harmeet seems to be doing all the heavy lifting over there. And that's probably who filed this.
I think the Trump administration made a mistake with going with so many media personalities.
Yeah.
Not because they can't do the job, but because they're not interested in doing the job as much as they're interested in getting out there for the own on Twitter.
Yeah, well, Jeanine Pirro at least was a district attorney before she got real famous. She had a couple of big cases. So that's why she got a TV job. So at least she was actually a prosecutor. And Harmeet Dillon was a lawyer before all of this. So I get why they're in their jobs. But Pam Bondi, she seems a little out of her depth.
Wasn't she AG down in Florida?
I don't know. I don't actually know what her bona fides are, but
Well, see, here's the thing. With being the AG or any department that you're in control of, you don't necessarily need to be super proficient in everything. All you need is people who are doing the job, and you give them that job to take care of that thing. And if that's what Bondi was doing, and she kept her ass out in the background, I'd probably have no problem with her. Because again, I understand how slow and how things work, and whether we like it or not, our system is mostly set up to let criminals get away with it.
Yeah, she was the Attorney General of Florida.
But
she looks good for 60, actually.
The fact that they have to come out and make a statement about fucking everything. I'm telling you, if you interfere with a church, we're going to come and get you. Okay, fine. Do you want to, if you're going to address this, do you want to actually address Dawn specifically?
No, because I guarantee you she didn't have anything to do with it. She just wanted to make the platitudes. I'm telling you, I think Harmeet Dillon did this because she's had a civil rights division, and that's what this would fall under. So she probably wrote all the briefs and everything and got all the paperwork drawn up, and Pam's just running out in front of a camera.
Frosted said, women are better seen and not heard, ranting monkey. I didn't say that. I've had sex before, so I know that's not true. Because sometimes it's the sound that really, pushes you over the edge there.
Yeah. They say things like, spank me, daddy, or something like that.
When she says, don't stop using the other words because we're daytime hours, that's a guarantee that you're going to stop.
Yes.
Like, look, you just caused it. That's on you.
Yeah.
That's your bad.
So like when I say, don't blink.
Right. Anyway, but yeah, Pam, just shut up. Just go sit at your desk, look pretty, and let the people who actually do things.
Yeah, pretend you're going to finish releasing the Epstein files.
This is what has happened. I mean, I really do blame Newt Gingrich for this. Because before Newt Gingrich, yeah, we might have known who the Speaker of the House was, but not really. You just heard, Tip O'Neill, you heard his name once in a while, but most people couldn't have picked that weirdo out of a lineup.
Yeah,
but
because he was kind of a dumbass too.
Newt comes along and he becomes a celebrity for being the Speaker of the House. And ever since then, doesn't matter what your role is in government. I'm waiting for, people to get famous for being mailmen. Because seriously, it's a government job, and get a TikTok and go out there and tell people how I will deliver your mail. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they have to work in the phrase going postal.
Yeah. They all they all want to be celebrities instead of, being the public servants that they're supposed to be.
That's crazy. Do their job and not get famous? What?
You know what? But you can get famous doing your job.
You could, but that's less exciting. Sounds like a lot more work.
Guys, that's going to wrap up this one. I'm just going to once again laugh that Don Lemon has been arrested, and fuck him. Did we get the charges yet?
I haven't been looking. Thank you, Okie Native. In your case, you probably hear Kua Woo Dee Dong, Mr. Jack. Kua Dee Dong. You should Google that one. I don't know if I want to now. But yeah, I mean, you're probably not wrong.
So far, I'm not seeing anybody talking about it being unsealed. All of the news is still from like hours and hours ago. Don Lemon has been arrested after he covered a Minnesota parade. They're such liars. He was a part of the protest. He actually argued for them. I hate these fucking people. Yeah, I'm not seeing any of this. So, all right, fair enough. We'll get the charges, and on the next show, we'll discuss what they actually are. I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say probably the FACE Act.
Yeah, probably.
I hope they slap him with the Klan Act too, just for the humor of Democrats having to come out and argue against the Klan Act. That would be it. If Joy Reid could come out and argue that the Klan Act is a bad thing, I might actually orgasm. Can you laugh to an orgasm? Because I would be laughing so hard, but it's what would happen. They're being very careful right now not to argue against the FACE Act because everybody knows it's the Abortion Act.
Yeah.
And they have to be very careful there. But you'll see it soon enough. I mean, the argument that Krasenstein keeps, free speech, free speech, free speech. That's an argument against the FACE Act. And if you really want to, I love that he's not even going with the freedom of the press that everybody else was. He's just like, free speech. Bro, calm down and actually read what your side's argument is, man. The reason I brought up Lauren Handy to him is because, I mean, if you're going to make the free speech argument, you got to defend her too. So, guys, thanks for coming and joining us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so very kind to us. Jack, anything you want to show?
I dropped a link to a video. As always, guys, thank you so much for the tips, all the support you give us by watching the show and showing up when we do these at unusual times. You guys are awesome. And no, Oki, I'm not going to pretend I haven't heard that. But thank you guys so much.
The hunger in my belly is rising, so I'm going to go get something to eat. I normally eat lunch around 11:30.
Oh, you're late, mister.
Yeah, this blew up, and I'm like, I got to talk about it now. I can eat later. So that's what I'm going to go do. So, Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Everybody, take care of yourselves. We love you, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
No, not hot dogs and ranch. I'm going to have a salad because I like salad. Yes, fat people like salad too.